Hello. Welcome back to Savage Says. This is Kelly. Kate, how you doing?
Amazing. So excited to be back here for episode 2.
I know. No one is more shocked than me, probably, about the critical reception that Savage Says episode 1 has received. And by critical reception, I mean most of the gals in our immediate social circles,
Yeah. Close friends and family.
close friends and family, but we'll take it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for listening. I am shocked because, as I covered in episode 1, I don't listen to podcasts. So I just assumed that no one else did or wanted to either. And yet, here you are. So thanks so much. And we're just really excited to cover some fun stuff this week.
I told you. Kitty knows best.
You did tell me. And
Mhm.
in this case, Kitty Kate did know. I mean, we'll see. Episode 2 could be a total flop. So
So true. I hope the immediate buzz from our first episode, continues, but you really never know. But either way, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. We are just so humbled and honored that you guys have enough interest in us to listen to us yap for 30 minutes. And when you put yourself out there, you never know what you're going to get. We know there are probably some trolls behind the scenes. I don't know. Maybe I'm flattering ourselves by saying that. It's like no one cares. But
no.
we're having so much fun. And
We are having fun. And I once heard or said, I can't remember, that if you have haters, you know you're doing something right.
no, that's such a good point. That's so true.
Yeah, because people are paying attention enough to notice. And I mean, there's probably a lot of scenarios where that logic does not apply, because I can think of some things that deserve haters that deserve no love, but I don't think this is one of them. So,
It's not. Just a
haters,
little
if you're in the building, thank you for being here as well.
yeah, you are racking up our ratings and listeners, so you're only doing good for us. Keep it up. But yeah, we have so much to cover, so let's just get right into it.
Yeah,
Um,
the game has changed.
yeah,
And I
big
don't think
time.
that we foresaw this at all when we launched last week. But truly, our lives for the next 6 weeks have kind of been turned upside down in the best possible way, because Caitlyn has some amazing news to share, exclusive here to Savage Says.
Yes, Kitty's heard it first. I am so excited to be joining the cast of White Christmas with City Springs Theater in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
It's like I am just over the moon. I feel like I'm gonna be on Broadway, seriously. Atlanta is my Broadway. I am just I'm like just so excited and grateful and ready, and it's just gonna be so great.
And this is your first professional production, right?
Yes, it
First
is.
big break.
First big break. This is actually my theatrical debut. Also,
Wow.
I've never been in a musical. I have dreamed and wished and hoped, and I never knew. I mean, I knew it was gonna come true because it was something that I, have set my mind to and, it
Have
was a
been
goal.
manifesting.
Yeah,
And I've been
absolutely.
manifesting for you.
Yeah, for longer than we are probably giving ourselves credit for, but, the fact that the time has come and I feel like all my hard work has paid off is just so rewarding and exciting, and,
Yay.
I just am so thrilled, so,
Well,
uh
congratulations.
thank you, thank
I
you.
cried when I got the phone call that Caitlyn got hired for this show.
Because
And
really, as you heard last week, we both got hired for the show. You are my momager. You
exactly.
have perpetuated this career of mine. So it really is a joint casting, whether they know it or not.
Thank you. Yes, we've both gotten our big break this week. So congratulations to both of us. And
Yes.
just a huge weight lifted off the shoulders, I think, of us collectively, to see all of your hard work and grinding it out in probably dozens, hundreds of auditions all come together around the holidays for a Christmas show where we can spend Christmas together here in
Oh my
Atlanta.
gosh.
It just couldn't be better. But the audition was a little crazy, right? So maybe you could tell us a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was actually crazy, and which makes it even more crazy as to how we are here right now. So I submitted for City Springs Theater. Um, online. It was for their whole season, 4 musicals, and they gave us a dance combo, and we had to, submit our vocal reel of choice. So I did that. With these things, with these self-tapes, as they're called, you kind of just send them into the abyss. Like, you record them, you never know who's gonna see them, you never know if they're even gonna get viewed, and if you'll ever hear back from them. So we did it, and I kinda put it out in my mind. So I submit it, don't think about it for a while. Then I get a call back to come to the Atlanta audition for the next round of the audition process. So I dropped everything and I flew down to Atlanta to go play with Kelly and go to this audition. And
Which was
the
when? Like
morning
September?
of,
September?
yeah, I want to say
Okay.
September, maybe the beginning of October, um, because yeah, I submitted these tapes in August. So I come down, morning of the audition, we didn't even know what chaos would ensue. I wake up at 9:30. Registration starts at 9:30. Audition starts at 10. I am in a tizzy. I missed my alarm. I run into Kelly's room.
She's melting down. She's melting
Yeah.
down, and I am not a morning person. I'm actually quite the opposite, but I am jolted awake by the panic in the room. And, we launched into solution mode, which
Yeah, it
was
was really like
get
fight
in
or
the
flight.
car,
Yeah. Get in the
fight or
car,
flight, and we
grab
fought.
grab your makeup, throw on that leotard. We're getting you to the audition. And I was like, "No, it's better I just don't go. Like, this isn't meant to be. Like, I'm just not gonna go, blah, 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 blah." And you were like, "No, get in the car," like the good momager she is. So we run and we brace Atlanta traffic
Like,
and
it's
zoom.
9:30, so it was peak Atlanta traffic. I mean, we were not moving for
No,
quite a little bit, and
no.
that was avoidable, but then it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm like crying in the car trying to apply mascara. I'm like, or you're like, pull it together. It's gonna be fine. And so I
I did
somehow,
not necessarily know that it would be fine. I thought you might get turned away at the door, but my
yeah,
philosophy is always let them cut you, don't cut yourself,
yeah, and that's exactly what you
figuratively
said.
and literally. And so that was the advice I gave that morning was get in the car, show up, let them tell you no, let them cut you, but don't take yourself out of the game yet, at least.
Right. So I'm trying to like give myself a pep talk through these dry heaves and like, okay, pull it together. Confidence. You carefree. Oh, sorry.
Zaz.
Yeah, I'm fashionably late, right? Yeah. So I get there and I'm like freaking out to the monitor and she's like, "Okay, it's fine. They just started. Like, I'll let you in." And so I open the door. It's like, creak. They're learning the tap combination. I clomp in with my little tap shoes. Tip tap. Hey, sorry. It was so mortifying. It was so embarrassing. So right away, I was off my A game. I assumed it was a lost cause. I was going through the motions. I mean, trying my best, of course. The audition ended up going fine itself, but I figured it was over before it started, just because of the circumstances. So I was really bummed afterwards, just so disappointed in myself and, just the situation. And I figured, okay, well, I tried, I did it. I don't expect anything to come of this. Flash forward to last week. I am sitting on my bed, quite literally in the middle of the night. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I was packing to go to the LSU versus Alabama game. And I was like, okay, let me check in for my flight. Finally, I have to leave in like 3 hours. And I open my email, and what is there other than offer? Caitlyn Savage, White Christmas, and I just, like, my middle of the night emotions just, like, came over me. My poor roommate was probably like, "What's happening?" Like, thought I was being murdered because I was, like, crying. I
Poor
called my
Carrie.
mom. Yeah, poor Carrie. "Hi, I know you're listening. Love you." I call my mom in the middle of the night. Why would I do that? I don't know, because I wasn't thinking clearly, but she, answers the phone. She's like, "What? What's wrong?" I give her a panic attack, like, as uh, understandably so, because it's the middle of the night and I'm calling her randomly, and I was like, "No, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Good news." And then she freaked out and she couldn't go back to sleep, so sorry, mommy, but, yes, all sorts of excitement, and rehearsals start tomorrow. When we're recording this, it's Sunday. Rehearsals start Monday. So, breaking news, Kelly and I are actually under the same roof right now because I have moved in with Kelly for the next
Yes.
6 weeks, and
Yes,
we get to have a slumber party all through
we're
the
in
Christmas time.
different rooms, which is very different. When we recorded last week, Caitlyn was in Hoboken, I was here in Atlanta. Now she's just a wall away. Hashtag prayers for Matt, my fiance, who also lives here, because he is going to get an in-house version of Savage Says for the next 6 weeks, against his will. But he is also on the Make Caitlyn a Star train. So we appreciate his love and support as we house our local starlet.
Oh my gosh, honestly, he is just a saint from up above for letting me come in here like a hurricane with my boxes and costumes and whatever I have brought along, all my dance shoes, like not me in the living room about to like start tap dancing after rehearsal, like to make sure I know my stuff. He's gonna be like, get her out. I'm just so thankful to be here and to spend every single day with you.
Well, a funny mention from White Christmas. If you have seen the movie, you will know there's a famous scene and song from it where the two lead girls, they're performers and they're sisters, and
Mhm.
they perform sisters, sisters.
Sisters, there were
There
never
were never
such
such devoted
important. Nope.
sisters. Yep.
We don't know the words, but we
Those are the
love.
I knew the words. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know what you were doing,
I
but
should probably learn them
you
considering I am like
you probably should learn
part of the
them
number.
considering I think you're performing them soon.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I can take your place because I know all the words already, but we have fancied ourselves those sisters for a while to the point where we have matching makeup bags with them on it.
Mhm.
And that just really, kind of solidifies how meant to be this opportunity was, that it is in the place I live down the road. We're able to come see you. I will probably
Mhm.
be at White Christmas twice a week, when it opens December 8th through December 24th. So if you are in the Atlanta area and would like to attend White Christmas with me so I do not look like a stalker at the theater, hit a girl up.
Come
Leave
on
us
down.
leave us a comment below. Yeah.
Yeah, the ushers are gonna be like, "There's this, like, super fan, and we're starting to get concerned because she keeps bringing a new person, and we don't really know who she belongs to, but
Right.
it's
Well,
gonna be
you
the
will
talk of the
know.
town." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's so exciting.
Well,
Um,
Matt isn't even here right now, actually, as a segue from him holding down the house. He's in Dubai. Very
ritzy.
casual. Yeah,
Yeah.
casual Dubai trip. I don't think it is much of a ritzy trip. I think it's all business, no play,
Ugh.
which is typically not how we work. But Caitlyn had curried some favor with him because those who know Matt know he is very tidy, which is not necessarily one of my strengths, I would say. And we were gone for 2.5 weeks to Europe, and Caitlyn made a stop through our apartment, I guess for another audition. I don't
Yeah,
really remember why
yes,
you
it
were here,
was. Mhm.
but Caitlyn tidied up our whole house. I mean, we left it pretty clean, but like she made it extra spiffy and left us a little surprise. And he was just so thrilled that we had a house visitor, and she left the space better than she found it. And I think he's not used to that with me because I tend to not necessarily leave things better than I found them in terms of our living space. So
Just a
keep it
little
up
bit colorful.
because he'll stay happy and nice as long as everything stays happy and nice, and you've already got that going for you.
Yeah, now the standards are high, so I gotta keep showing up, showing out. Speaking of your travels and whatnot, as we mentioned, and introduced last week, Kelly is newly engaged, of
To
which
Matt
yeah,
specifically.
to let let there not be any confusion. Matt is the one. So you went on a trip to Europe. Let's hear about that.
Yes, we did. Kind of spur of the moment. We planned it in July, leaving in October, and we wanted to go somewhere. Matt actually has a wonderful company that pays him to take time off, and that was going to expire at the end of the year. So it was kind of a lose it or use it. No, use it or lose it, now or never situation. And we kind of spur of the moment, we're like, let's go to Europe. Let's see what we can make the most of this fall time, that's supposed to be lovely there. But we realized pretty quickly that we are kind of lazy travelers in that, like, I was not necessarily seeking to coordinate hotels and cars and trains and excursions and all the things, especially so quickly. Like, I think if you had a lot more lead time and knew you were doing that, that would be one thing, but we didn't really. So we decided to go on a cruise. I'd never been on a cruise. Matt was a big cruiser growing up, so he had lots of experience and really loves them. We went on a celebrity cruise, starting out of Barcelona. And then our stops were 2 stops in France. We went to Cassis and Nice. And then while we were in Nice, we went to Monaco. I'll elaborate on that in a moment.
Mhm.
And then from there, we went to like 5 stops in Italy. So those were Cinque Terre, Capri, Taormina, which is Sicily, Florence, and then we landed in Rome, and we did 2 days in Rome on the back end, and we started with 2 days in Barcelona on the front. So I had been to
Gorgeous.
London in March, also with Matt, but I'd never been to any of those European countries, and those were like top of my list. So really, really happy and grateful that we got to see so much cool stuff and eat so much delicious food and drink so much delicious wine. Everyone's right. The wine, the food is generally so much cheaper in Europe than it is here. So I
So
don't know
interesting.
what that's about. Yeah. But I guess import taxes on international wines.
Yeah.
So we had ourselves a time. The cruise itself was really nice too. And I love not having to worry about getting from place to place. Like, we went out during the day, saw the city, saw the sights. It was kind of fast and furious. But then we got back on the boat at night, and then they brought us to the next place while we wined and dined some more on the boat and had a great time. So we were exhausted because we were doing a lot of like excursions during the day, like
Mhm.
15,000 steps a day, and waking
Fit
up really
queen.
early, which, as I said, is not my bag, but had to be done to get out to where we were going those days. So we were up at like 7 a.m. every morning, and then taking 15,000 steps, and then coming back, staying up pretty late, and then doing it all again. So by like day 4, when we were in Florence, like, we had an overnight there, and we slept until like noon in the hotel, which wouldn't necessarily advise if you're only in an internationally renowned city for a night, but we needed to recharge.
Yeah,
And
needed your beauty rest for sure.
yeah, well, I did, because some big things were happening. So rewind from Italy back to France. We were in Nice, and we went to this gorgeous lunch at this restaurant, La Plongeois. La Plongeois, if you're listening, would love to come again as a sponsored influencer trip. But I highly recommend. I was a little skeptical because it's like this gorgeous restaurant on a rock in the middle of the French Riviera Ocean. And I was like,
Wow.
there's no way, like, it's probably overrated and very overpriced and whatever. No, the food was great. The service was great. The views were just magnificent. So I was already on cloud 9, just like loving that had come together. And then we went to Monaco, and that was always the plan because Matt is a big James Bond fan, like James Bond super fan. I had
Had
a
a
30th.
whole
His 30th birthday was James Bond themed, which was my doing. It was a surprise party. He didn't like self-select a themed birthday party at
We went to
30
Party
years old.
City and got like the James Bond pack. Like, you know what I mean?
No. I had some cool stuff done for that party.
No, it was awesome. It
That
was the
was
best
not from
party
Party
ever.
City. Yeah,
Mhm.
but that's like a hallmark of Matt's personality is James Bond related excursions. And so the Casino Monte Carlo is like a famous James Bond heritage site. And if you're not familiar with the casino or Monaco, it's like the wealthiest country in the world. It's actually a principality. It's like a tiny little blip kind of in the middle of France, but they host the F1 Formula race and yacht sailing. I don't actually know, but lots of ritzy stuff goes on in Monaco. So obviously I was like, yeah, let's go to Monaco and see this casino. Princess Grace Kelly was also the princess of Monaco, and she was a Hollywood starlet before that.
That's
My
so
bestie Grace.
bestie.
Yeah, my bestie Grace, her name is Grace, and my name is Kelly, as you guys know. So together we were really original, and we just would always laugh as like a duo. We're Grace Kelly.
Yeah, really
Which
leaned into that
I
one.
know, yeah, huge originality. But that was fun too, because I was like running around taking pictures of all the Grace Kelly stuff, sending them to Grace. Little did I know, there was a group text going on behind my back of who Matt has referred to as the committee. And the committee was chairwoman Caitlyn,
Mhm.
and then my
President.
college besties, Grace and John. And they were apparently all in on what was happening, which was Matt's call to propose in Monaco at the Monte Carlo Gardens, which truly, truly gorgeous. I mean, we were walking through the gardens. I had anticipated an engagement soon, or else pretty much,
Mhm.
but, um, he did catch me by surprise. I really did not see it coming that day. I had staged him for a photo in the gardens and was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful, like, stand right there." I took his picture, and then I turned around to find someone to take our picture together, and when I turned back around, he wasn't on one knee yet, but he was like, "Wait, wait," and I don't know if I can, like, share this publicly, but
I
we're
don't think
going
I've
for it
heard this story.
with the fans. He said he was like, "Well, while we're here, I figured there was no better place for a princess to become a queen." And then got on one knee and said, with this ring, "Will you marry me?" And I was like, I looked around, like, to my left and to my right, and was like, "Wait, what? Here? Are you serious? Right now?" Because it just was, like, so beautiful, and I honestly thought what he had said was, it like a riff, because I was like, that's, like, almost too much, but obviously I'm obsessed.
Love that line.
Yeah, because, it was
Matt with
Princess
the
Grace, and it's
yeah,
a principality, and it was a riff on all that, and,
very
naturally, I
clever.
said, "Yeah, man, sure."
Of course.
So, we
When
had
you put it
a
that way.
beautiful yeah, a beautiful private moment, and then as he's getting up off of bended knee, there's clapping, and I have an ear for clapping. So
She lives for the applause. Yeah,
so I
mhm,
turn around and there are people standing, like, because there was no one around us, which was pretty remarkable for this being, like, a tourist destination.
mhm.
Um, there are people standing, like, a few steps above us in the garden, and they're clapping, like, they were watching what was happening, and they're applauding. So they come down to where we're standing, and they say they were from Spain, and fun fact, Matt speaks transactional Spanish, so we were able to get the information from them.
It's a ridiculous fact about him
It
that I
is,
have
I
recently
didn't learn
learned.
that until 3 years into dating, but it's very helpful, especially when we were in Spain.
Humble king.
So our Spanish friends say, "Congratulations. We saw what was happening. We knew what was going on. So we took a video and we took photos. We can airdrop them to you." So we were like, "Oh my gosh, yes." And so we have these beautiful photos, and like they took our picture together afterwards. And it looks like we like went and sought out this place to take photos after we got engaged. No, no, no. It happened right
Mm-mm.
there. And we just happened to have wonderful passerbyers who came through with the media, and they got the whole thing on video. I mean, he's not even on one knee and they've started recording. I have no idea how they knew what he was about to do, because I did not know what he was about to do. Like, I thought we were just taking a stroll through the garden, and this video has him like way before bending down, and then it does catch me like waving to the crowd like with a princess wave after the
Of course,
applause is
naturally.
happening. So, yeah, we're really grateful for those lovely Spaniards in the gardens,
Yeah. Well, and correct me
and it
if
was
I'm
a wonderful
wrong.
experience.
I'm so glad that you were pleased and just taken by surprise, really. That's the biggest thing because I mean, not to reveal too much, but, yeah, you were prepared, I will say, for this to as you said, you were
Yeah.
prepared for this to happen during this trip, hoping that it would, but the
We were
fact
dating
that you
for
were
6 years, so,
oh, yeah.
I was ready.
It right, and, like, it's a big trip, travels, beautiful scenery, private moment, lovely things. I think Matt wanted to abolish the committee probably because we were weighing in where we probably shouldn't have, and not so much that we shouldn't have at all, but we were being a little pushy, wanting a little too many details, and wanting him to give us answers when it was happening, where, what she's wearing. We wanted it to be perfect, of course, and as did he, and I think where you and Matt differ are, you really like to plan things out and know exactly what's happening, what's coming. Matt's a little bit more, I don't know if go with the flow is the right word, but,
Matt's a planner too, though. I don't necessarily think he's, like, spontaneous, if that's what you're getting at. He's really not
no,
spontaneous, but
and, like, it
I
wasn't
know what
none
you
of no
mean. He
yeah,
wanted it to, and he relayed after the fact. He wanted it to feel right, but
yes.
he didn't know what that would exactly be or look like in the moment. So, yeah, he did not necessarily have everything planned down to a T, as I'm sure the committee was requesting.
Yeah, for sure, and, like, personally, I've never been to Monaco, and so when he mentioned the casino, I was like, "The casino? You're not gonna propose in the casino." Like, "Matt, no, what's going on?" But, I cultured myself and did some research and realized that it's a beautiful historic,
It looks like a castle, which, again, ties back to the whole, like, royalty plague. So
yeah.
that was good. It doesn't look like it's not the Golden Nugget in Vegas, which is a huge relief because I've been to the
The
Golden
little white
Nugget.
chapel.
Yeah, it is not one of those, but I mean, Matt relayed, like, John, shout out to John, also was like, casino, that's an idea, but,
Yeah.
not so sure,"
I don't know about that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we were, going so far as to, I texted one of my friends who I knew had been there. I'm like, "Can you send your casino pictures? I need to know exactly what this looks like from all angles." So we were being a little bit crazy, but Matt knew exactly what he was doing. He killed it. His intuition is spot on, and it was so beautiful. I mean, just based on what I've seen and heard, and I'm just so happy for you and so glad that everything worked out the way that it did.
It did. I couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be happier. That was a wicked plug, and we'll
Yeah.
get there in just a
If
minute,
you
but
know, you know.
if you know, you know, girls. Yeah, I think Matt was really proud that he kind of diverged from the committee's feedback and went with his heart because I really was totally thrilled. It was so gorgeous and love the royal vibes. But when you say his intuition is spot on, historically that's not necessarily true. And
Not a
Matt
common
is
occurrence.
yeah, Matt isn't listening, so we can kind of lightly
Yeah.
roast him, I think. But
One thing
like
that we know for sure, Matt is not listening to us talk when he is not
when he
have
doesn't
to.
absolutely have to, yeah. His drive home is for peace and quiet, not for more of this. But um, yeah, no, he has a tendency, or historically has asked Caitlyn for advice on gifts and things like that, and he takes about 90% of her advice, and then does his own thing on the last 10, and sometimes that's where things have gone awry.
Mhm.
And I think we were all a little on edge of like, there's no need for create just like extra creativity here. Like listen to the girlies that know.
The
But
committee knows best, except we didn't, so
the committee knows best, except not this time. So tally for Matt in the
yeah,
W
a
category.
win. Yeah, a win for Matt, for sure.
Well, we have to get this show on the road because I actually do have to head to the airport pretty soon. But speaking of the airport, I want to
I
hear, yeah,
have
what's
a
going on.
story. Okay, I think we should introduce a segment called "I Have a Gripe," because you know what? I have a gripe with American Airlines, and I don't know if they
Don't
can
we
ever
all?
right? They're,
Honestly,
like,
they're the worst.
historically cancelable, right? They're
Yes.
always doing crazy stuff. But I had to fly American Airlines against my will. Ugh. This was to the Bama versus LSU game. I was flying to Memphis because that's where Maddie lives. We were going together, yada yada. So I was going LaGuardia to Memphis with a connection in Charlotte. That was on the way there and also on the way back. So after the game, it's Monday. I'm flying home. I just have my little purse and my little carry on suitcase. So I get up to the gate. I'm in group 9 because basic economy ticket. I'm always in group 9. I'm always going to be the last to board. Also, I was probably getting a snack and was late boarding. Anyway, so I bring my stuff up. I successfully get through the gate. No gate agent stopped me and was like, "We have to check your bag." Nothing like that. So I go on in. I'm stepping onto the plane from the gate bridge, and one of the flight attendants is like, "Oh no, 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 we're no more space, no more space. We're gonna have to take that bag." And I was like, "Oh, do we have to? I have a connecting. I'd love to keep it." And she's like, "Absolutely not." So then this gate bridge attendant, it was someone between the gate and the plane, appeared out of nowhere and was like, "I'm gonna tag these bags for you, but we need you to sit down immediately. So you leave your suitcase here. I'll take care of it and I'll bring you your claim ticket to your seat." And I was like, okay." And this is where, I go wrong because I
Everything went
shouldn't.
wrong.
Yes, and I shouldn't. Lesson learned, never leave your bag unattended with someone who you think you can trust, but you can't. You never can. But so I leave my bag, go sit down. She brings me my claim ticket. So I arrive in LaGuardia after my connection, and I actually stuck around to upload this podcast to the internet.
Oh no.
Within
It was
yeah,
Savage Says fault.
it really was. So then I go. Obviously, the baggage claim has taken its turn, and my bag isn't going to be going through the revolver belt anymore. So I go to the American Airlines baggage office. I'm like, "Hi, you have my bag. Like, here's my ticket." And they were like, "Okay, what's it look like?" I said, "It's a black hard shell with reptile skin and gold accents, right?" And
Cute. Sounds cute.
so he's like, "Okay." He's back in the little holding office for a really long time. And then all of a sudden, he turns the corner, and what bag is it? It's an army green bag with orange zippers.
Mhm.
And I
No.
said,
Sounds like a no.
my immediate reaction was, "That's not my bag." And he was like, well, isn't that your name?" I was like, "Mhm," and I know exactly what happened. Miss Gatebridge attendant swapped the tags on me and the other person that was in the back of the line with me that they needed to leave the bag
We know
to
his
be
name,
checked.
right?
Thomas Perkins.
Oh,
I have Thomas Perkins' bag, and Thomas Perkins has my reptile skin, hard shell black gold accent bag. How this woman got confused as to whose bag was who, I have no idea. Like, Caitlyn and Thomas are, like, pretty standard, like, names for a girl and a boy, and, like, the army green orange suitcase does look like it would belong to Thomas Perkins, and the hard shell black case reptile skin looks like it would belong to Caitlyn Savage. So I don't really know where the disconnect was, but anyway, my bag ended up staying in Charlotte, didn't make it on the flight to LaGuardia. Thomas Perkins did, and the rest is just mad chaos. Nobody was able to help me get this resolved. I filed a claim initially. Something got lost in translation. Many things got lost in translation because nobody was really able to understand the difference between Thomas Perkins' bag and my bag, and the
and they
claim
couldn't be more different, really.
they really couldn't.
Uh,
I wish you could see this backpack. I'm gonna try to find a picture and, like, post it on the gram because it was just, like, comical, honestly. But between, like, 4 different airports, LaGuardia, Memphis, Charlotte, um, and Jacksonville, where I eventually tried to reroute my bag to, nobody was able to adequately help me. I, as a matter of fact, got hung up on by American Airlines not once, but twice while trying to resolve this issue.
Very nice.
And, yeah, one thing led to another. Eh, I was told that my bag was in Jacksonville, then I was told it was still in Charlotte, back and forth, back and forth. Ends up, the bag is nowhere to be found, and that is has been determined missing and has likely been sent to the warehouse in Dallas, Texas, where she will likely live forever
And, well, I was
unless.
like I heard this and I was like, "Duh, we have contacts in Dallas.
Yeah,
We
great, we're
have
gonna show
connections.
up to the warehouse. So, yeah,
We're
finally,
gonna send them to the warehouse," and that isn't even gonna help, it seems like.
yeah, at this point, I'm assigned my own individual gate agent named April, and I get on the phone with April, and she's, like, clicking for a while, and then eventually she comes back to me, and she's like, "Yeah, it's missing. It's not in Charlotte. It's not in Jacksonville. It's not anywhere to be found." I'm like, "Great. I wish I knew that 5 days ago." Mind you, this is now Friday. I have flown into Jacksonville. I'm leaving to go to Atlanta. All my makeup's in there, like some shoes, a bunch of stuff, but, like, most importantly, my makeup. Haven't had it in a week. Yeah, she was like, "Sorry, there's nothing I can do to help you." So I'm like, "Okay, April, where's the warehouse? I need an address. And if I show up on the premises, will I be able to go search for my suitcase, or can a representative of mine search for my suitcase?" She's like, "No, they will not let you on the scene." So I was like, "Great. Okay." So that plan was kind of kaput, and I'm in the process of trying to get reimbursed for all these things and, hopefully find the missing suitcase eventually, but they'll look for it for 30 days, and if it's not found, it's just considered a lost cause. But in the meantime, I have been told that I can be reimbursed for interim costs. So after I drop Kelly off at the airport today, I will be going straight to Sephora to buy a whole new face of makeup, which is kind of a silver lining. And I think that it's going to be kind of a fun adventure, not for the credit card, but for my soul. And maybe I'll take you guys along somehow. Maybe we'll TikTok it or something. Because I
Yeah,
think it's going to be a fun journey. So, there's pros and cons to everything in life.
finding a
Um,
bright spot, but, yeah, this week's segment of I Have a Gripe, starring American Airlines is
yeah.
this week's culprit, and I wish I could say I was surprised, but quite frankly, their customer service is generally just so bad, and it is reflective to me that the company doesn't treat their employees very well or
Mhm,
doesn't empower them enough to
mhm,
want to get to yes and help people.
mhm.
And as an airline, like it's almost inevitable. Things will go wrong, things will get lost, but the attitude with which you come forth to try to help solve those problems or be compassionate towards those who have, lost their belongings at
Mhm.
your doing, it really makes a big difference. So
Of
I'm really sorry
course.
that that has happened, Kate, because it's
Mm,
happened to me too, and it feels awful.
yeah, it's just I've shed a few tears. Finally, actually, I have to shout out the Jacksonville attendants at the luggage office in Jacksonville, the American luggage office, because I started weeping in their face, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna try our best to help you," and they were finally able to determine um, like who I need to call to really get answers, and that um, pointed me in the right direction. But other than that, it was absolutely useless, and everyone was so unkind and unhelpful, and yeah, it makes me sad.
That is not the holiday spirit we need right now. But
No, absolutely not. No
hopefully the
Grinches
Sephora
allowed,
no, hopefully the Sephora team will help turn it around. So speaking of
for
that,
sure.
wanted to talk about what is in your cart this week because I know, we've both been doing some shopping for different things
Mhm.
and
Of course.
have come across some interesting items. So anything that jumps out to you besides, the replacement of literally all of your makeup?
Right. Ugh. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my targeted ads on Instagram are extremely targeted to where it's really scary. I mean, like I know they're just taking from the data of like your past searches and whatnot, but it really alarms me sometimes what comes up on those like Instagram ads. Uh and one of which was this gorgeous Ralph Lauren sweater with a little bear in a ball gown
Yeah, loved
and
it.
a tiara. It was the cutest thing ever. I sent it to Kelly and I was like, "Look at this sweater. Need." I click on the link. It's $1,500. $1,500 for a teddy bear sweater. I'm sorry, Ralph, where do you get off pricing that item as that? You put a
Ralph
bear patch on a sweater. Like, are you kidding me? Who's wearing that?
Ralph is funny. Like, well, you wanted to wear it, so don't be a
Not for
hater about that.
$1,500.
Not for like for $100 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralph
Yeah.
is funny like that because I have some pieces, namely my Miss Florida white interview jumpsuit from a few years ago, which has
So
come back
gorgeous.
around this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, she's gorgeous and like very high quality, and I think was probably like $300 or something. And then you've got this bear sweater for 1,500. It doesn't the math doesn't math, and I don't do much math, but I'm with you. I loved her until we didn't.
Yeah, so
Um,
disappointing. And, like, also, there I really want a Ralph Lauren baseball cap, and some of them, they're charging, like, $350 for a hat. They're like, "Well, it's corduroy." I'm like, "I don't care, it's a baseball cap." Like, what? What's going on? So, I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall in, like, Ralph Lauren headquarters because it's just crazy, but, speaking of expenditures, I know you've had quite a few recently.
Yes. Well, so yes, that's accurate. At this moment, I have about $5,000 of white outfits lying around, and I'm sure nobody predicted this, but I am pretty conscious of wanting to look my best at this time in this exciting time in our lives. And we have an engagement party coming up.
Mhm.
Caitlyn was actually supposed to be the hostess of this engagement party December 9th, but then we got the White Christmas
Yeah.
news, which opens December 8th, so she will no longer be attending.
There have been a change
We
of
will
plans,
we will
yes.
miss you.
I really
Yeah.
am devastated, but, we'll just have to cover it all here.
The show must go
So
on. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. It's showbiz.
But in preparation for this party, yeah, I have a lot of outstanding orders of potential outfits, to the tune of several $1,000s. One that I was really excited about came in and it was way too big. So I had most of it is like the same thing, but I've ordered like 3 or 4 sizes of things because, online shopping can be whack like that. But I ordered this
Mhm.
outfit and I'm thinking it's a sleigh. It's like a two-piece, like very structured bodice with like these pants, and I think it really could be very beautiful if it fit me. But I showed Matt a picture and he looked at it and was like, that looks like your Miss Florida outfit, except your Miss Florida outfit looks better. And when
Shook.
I tell you, I that was 5 years ago that I wore that outfit. Never one single time did it float through my head that outfit, and that, yes, he is right. This does look like that outfit, but the other outfit fits me way better. So, shout out to Matt for cataloging my wardrobe in his brain. I hope
Yeah.
not all of it, because that would be a lot of brain space, but, we that jumpsuit is actually missing, so we have to kind of do, like, a deep dive to find her, and, I hope we do. Otherwise, the search continues for the perfect
Mhm.
outfit for this party, but I have a lot of returns to make, and currently the dining room table is just, like, stacked up with outfits on
Sequins and
outfits.
feathers.
Sequin, feathers, slacks, silk that have to go back to Revolve or Nadine Marabi. If you're
Yeah.
listening, we love you. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
exciting time. So a lot of things have been in my cart, but a lot of things will not necessarily be staying. Things that are staying though from your road trip yesterday.
Oh, yeah, guys, I took a trip to Buc-ee's, as you do when you are traveling up and down the Southeast. Um, did you know I've been to Buc-ee's quite a few times. The first time, I mean, magical experience, but this was the first time I walked in when there's, like, a new batch of pulled pork that's ready, they scream at the top of their lungs, and I'm not really sure what they said, but it was something along it sounded like, "All aboard!" Like, it sounded like they were, like, conducting a train, but the entire Buc-ee's staff, like, shouts at the top of the lung, "Pork-a-la!" Like, I don't even know. I couldn't make out what it was, but they were like, "Well, bling, bling, bling." I've never been in a more happening Buc-ee's. Bucky himself was there in the suit. There was, like it was like a carnival. I felt like I walked into a carnival. I smelled like of course, I got some warm pecans. That's my go-to Bucky snack. It smelled like fresh nuts and popcorn, and people were like it was decorated for Christmas. It felt like I really was at the state fair. Um, and it was really overwhelming, I have to say, but, I did go and venture and get some kinda questionable snacks. Looking back, I don't think I was really in my right, uh, frame of mind when I was making those selections. We were gonna do a live taste test here for the, beaver nuggets. I've never tried them, but they have a variety of flavors. I got the sea salt caramel ones. Um,
Yeah.
no, but it was crazy. It was a crazy experience, and I wish that I had, some company because I can't even properly express to you what that experience was like. It was crazy, but yeah.
That does sound crazy. I've only been to Buc-ee's a few times, and it is, I mean, it's not my vibes per se, but, like,
Oh, yeah.
definitely like what they're doing. I love snacks,
Mhm.
so it's a good place for that, but yeah, I'd never heard of this pulled pork.
Well,
Yeehaw.
me either. I knew they had, like, pulled pork sandwiches and, like, things like that, but I had no idea there was, like, this ritual that they would do, and it happened, like, 3 times while I was in there. So I at first I thought I hid. I was there for, like, the big moment of the day. Oh, no. Every time there's a new batch of sandwiches, "All aboard," or whatever they say. It gets rowdy, and Bucky was, like, dancing. It was crazy. Should have taken a
Wow.
selfie, but
Well,
missed
I'm so glad
opportunity.
you got to experience it and share it with us here.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
what a pivot.
highlight of my road trip.
Right, and you were driving from Jacksonville after not getting your bag from American, which is
Yep.
where we live, because you had to get your car,
Yes.
right? No
Mhm.
cars up in Hoboken.
No, no car
Well,
up in
there are cars,
Hoboken,
you just don't
so
have one.
yeah. Whenever I visit, I come drive yours, but now that I'm gonna be here for an extended period of time, I definitely need my own to get to and fro, so flew down to Jacksonville, drove up, had a pretty lovely road trip, with that buggy stop in the middle, listened to Hairspray live. Um, can I just note how, like, integral Hairspray live was for, like, my upbringing and my personality? It is a work of art. Kristen Chenoweth as Miss Baltimore Crabs, mother to
Amber Von
Amber
Tussle.
Von Tussle. What's her name? Uh,
Dove Cameron.
no, no, no. The
Amber
character's name.
Velma Von Tussle.
Velma Von Tussle. It's iconic. Ariana Grande, Derek Huff as Corny Collins. It's fantastic, and I was obsessed. Like, whatever happened to those live shows?
I think they're
Those used to
really
happen
hard to
every year.
produce. I don't know, we'll have to bring on our Hollywood expert, my friend John,
Yes.
member of the engagement committee, to find out.
Yes.
He'll be a guest with questions such as these, but I've actually never seen Hairspray live, so maybe that is something we
Okay.
need to do while
Yeah,
you're
that's on
here.
our agenda when you return. It's
Yes.
like we can talk more about it later, but like I'm convinced you okay, so not Steve Martin. Martin Short plays, the dad,
Yeah.
Wilbur,
Mhm.
and I took one look at him and I said, "You cannot tell me that that is not Barry Manilow." Barry
They do
Manilow
look
and
very
Martin
similar.
Short are the same person, don't ask me why I'm, like, so familiar with what Barry Manilow looks
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say,
because
wow, someone I had not thought about in a long time, maybe ever. Barry
well,
Manilow.
if you need a breakdown of who Barry Manilow is and, like, his cultural relevance
We
in,
don't have
like,
time for
our
that.
society okay, no, but just go watch the Glee episode where Sam, reveals that his, like, guilty pleasure is Barry Manilow. Anyway, also Google pictures, they're spitting images of one another. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm really, into Hairspray Live again, and I hope that we can go on that journey together of watching it and,
I think
appreciating
we can.
it.
One thing I need to highlight before we go, because I literally have to go to the airport,
Yeah,
is,
sorry.
Dancing with the Stars last week. I don't know if anyone
Yes.
else is watching, but, Harry Jowsey from Too Hot to Handle, never seen that show, didn't know who he was before this.
Me
He's
either.
been getting shat on because he is not a very good dancer, just transparently. But he's working his butt off and seems to really, be invested, which we appreciate.
Mhm.
So he has not been getting the best scores, but last week they did a team dance. And the teams they didn't intentionally divide them this way, but one was like the team of the younger contestants
Mhm.
featuring Harry Jowsey, Charity Lawson from The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. I'm not sure.
Bachelorette, yeah.
Probably
Both.
both. Xochitl Gomez from the Marvel movies. She's like 17 and an upcoming movie star. She seems fun. And
Mhm.
then Lele Pons, which
Lele.
is a name I hadn't heard in a long time, but I think she got famous on Vine. Quite frankly, if you asked me who any of these people were 6 months ago, I would
Mm-mm.
not know the answer, but they're
The
all on
epitome
Dancing with
of
the Stars.
D-list.
Yeah, and they did a team dance to Gangnam Style, that really annoying song that we thought we'd all put behind us from 2014. It was so freaking good. Like, I was in my living room alone, like, "Yes!" Like, "Ah!" And you know who was the star of
Screaming.
the dance? Harry. He
Harry
killed it.
Jowsey.
And the judges were so excited for him because what they highlighted was, yes, you've been struggling independently, but, like, it was very clear to us right now you do so much better in a group and, like,
You
with
are a group
dancers around
dancer.
you. Yeah, and he just was so proud of himself, and I think everyone was really
Mhm.
proud of him, and, the dance had such wow factor, like, I don't think they highlighted which of the pros or if all of the pros choreographed it, but whoever did, I thought did an incredible job highlighting the strengths of those respective dancers
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
giving Harry the opportunity to shine. I
Mhm.
was wowed by this dance, and I absorb a lot of dance content. So,
Yeah.
wonderful job. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. It was really good, and if you like any of those people or follow any of those people, I think you'll really like it. This Tuesday is Whitney night on Dancing with the
Oh my
Stars.
gosh.
We will not
Yes.
be able to watch together, which is a bummer
Oh,
because I am going
yes.
to Carolina Beach, North Carolina for a work trip and then to Jacksonville for work actually, and then gonna hang
Mhm.
out with mother for a little bit.
Cute.
Um, but yeah, we have actually a lot of like media and things to watch and things we're listening to discuss. The other thing I wanted to mention is Selling Sunset just premiered. And we're
Mhm.
big Selling Sunset girlies,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah,
I
totally.
am.
I been pushing Selling Sunset onto Maddie in particular, who is a big reality TV person, and she has yet to watch it. We had an agreement that if
Maddie,
I watched
what?
Housewives I know, she would love it, right? If I
Yeah.
watched Housewives of Beverly Hills, then she had to watch Selling Sunset, and our agreement has yet to be reciprocated because I have been watching Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's okay, everyone is on their own timeline, but yes, big Selling Sunset girl, love the glamour and the glitz of it all,
It
but
has gotten pretty silly because, like, what accidentally happened when I was watching season 6 is that it, like, concluded season 6 and then it restarted season 1 on Netflix,
mhm,
and the difference in their outfits, their faces, the makeup, the hair, the lighting even
mhm,
from season 1 to season 6 is just truly remarkable.
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense, like, bigger budgets, they got, traction, you're gonna be seen by millions of people, you wanna look your best and maybe make some enhancements, but it really just was, like, kind of shocking because it did happen somewhat gradually, but when you
mhm,
compare the last season to the first season, it is very noticeable. But my biggest takeaway from the episodes I've seen so far with Selling Sunset, not to give anything away, but I think honestly this is something people probably could have figured out or already knew, is like
Yeah.
Manilow, Jason's new girlfriend, annoying.
So annoying. Could not agree more. She is being thirsty. She is like giving pick me energy. Just like
Yeah.
Chriselle doesn't care about you, okay? Like Chriselle is very much in a new committed relationship. They're
Mhm.
so cool, by the way. And like has moved on. She broke up with Jason, which I know is like probably why
Probably
Mary
a little
Lou.
part of the salt, yeah.
Yes, and is like, "Meh, this makes me uncomfortable." But, like, she is now stretching, saying that Chriselle has been mean to her or unfriendly or whatever. Like, quite literally, the first time that they're in a room together, she gives her a big hug in a foreign country that Chriselle went out of her way to go, like, meet up and hang out with them. Says, like,
Mhm.
"Hi, gorgeous, how are you?" Like, there's no I at least haven't seen so far any sort of indication that Chriselle has been anything but nice and kind and polite.
No, and I'm like, "Wow, Marilu, if this is what someone being mean to you looks like, good thing I wasn't dating Jason Oppenheim because
You
you would
would
get
be
a whole new
traumatized.
well, yeah, you would get a whole new taste of what your boyfriend's ex-girlfriend is like. It would not be as pleasant as Chriselle. I would never date Jason Oppenheim for 100 reasons,
Yeah,
but
he
I
seems
do
like a
think that
garbage can boyfriend.
he's well, we'll get into GCBs
Yeah,
later,
we'll
but
get
I mean, he's an executive producer on this show, which is hilarious, and I get why, but, like, they did him dirty in some of those scenes, like, they were shooting the shot, like, it was so clearly intentional to show the height difference between him and Marilu in, like, a trashing him sort of way, like a how embarrassing, he's so little, and we stan a short king around
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
No hate to short kings. I'm just saying, like, I think the producers were intentionally trying to point it out in like a haha, Jason's so little sort of way. But my conclusion for now we have not finished the season. You haven't gone very far at all, but
No.
is that I'm just over Marilu. I'm ready for her to be out of here. And from what I know, she and Jason have broken up, so she probably is
Oh,
out of here by now.
thank God. Yeah, sorry, girl. You're not in real estate. You're irrelevant. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Well,
Um,
speaking of people who've got to get out of here, it's me.
we'll
I
pick
am
up
just
on this next week too. We have so much to cover.
honestly, we might have a midweek episode because we had
Yeah.
so much to cover that we didn't, but I'm just so excited for Caitlyn. I'm leaving, but she's staying here in
Yay.
Atlanta. So happy to have her here for the holiday season and to see her perform for the first time in a long time outside of this podcast environment. Yeah, we're just excited to take you along
Oh
too.
my gosh. Well, thank you so much. I really am so overjoyed. I can't even express it. So thankful, so excited. And if you happen to be in Atlanta during the holiday season, come see our show. We open at the Byers Theater December 8th or 9th. I should probably clarify that. And we close Christmas Eve. So you have plenty of chances to come see. I would love, love, love to have you there. And yeah, until next week, we will be all over Instagram. Follow us at Savage Says Pod. We're having too much fun over there. Also, our personal Instagrams at Caitlyn Savage and at Kelly Savage. One hiss at that one. That's okay. And thanks for being here, kitties. We love you. Bye.